Okay, welcome back. This is the part two. I apologize for that. I didn't know I was going to have to do a restart. I probably should have known that. Moving forward, I don't know what I'll do in that situation. Like I said, I don't feel like I need to have some kind of video editing tool to cut those together. I'm sure all of you can watch a 15-minute video, turn around and watch another 15-minute video. So once again, I apologize for that, but I've restarted my system. I'm going to go to the lower left here, type in Visual Studios or just Visual, click on Visual Studios 2019, and now we should start to see this load up here. Once this is loaded, what we will do is we will create a project. It is not crucial that you understand why I am typing what I'm typing for this to run, okay? All I want to do is make sure that you can run a program, you can create a program, run it, and then you can turn around and run one of the programs that I created. Okay? Those are the two things, and they will be on that checklist, so don't stress about having to write this down. All I need you to know is that follow the checklist, be able to create your own program, and be able to run the program that I upload to Brightspace. So what I'm going to do is, you don't really have to sign in here, so I'm just going to say not now, maybe later, because I personally just never sign in. So I'm just going to say that. It's going to ask you a few questions. I personally like the dark theme. I'm sure you all do too. So I'm going to go ahead and click Start Visual Studios and just kind of let this load. I'm going to pause the video until it's ready to go. All right, so at this point, everything is loaded up and ready to go, and this is the window that you should see. We will use this window when we are creating a new project. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to say Create New Project. When mine loads up, you're going to see that I probably have a lot of other things than what you have, unless you went ahead and you created and you installed the same packages that I did. So I'm going to see some stuff here that really isn't necessary for this class. But what we're looking for is, and you can change this here and it might help. I'm going to go ahead and say I want C++. And then from here, I want a C++ console application. This is where you should be taking notes, okay? If I get an email that says, hey, I forgot what project, what format I should use, what template I should use for this project, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you to go back and rewatch the videos. I cannot sit, I'm going to end up having 50 to 60 students in this course. I cannot sit and answer that email for 25 students. At that point, why am I making the videos? Okay, so let's try to be on the same page here. If you can have a notebook next to you and take notes, that is going to help you tremendously. Okay? So please take notes. Yes, if there is something that you forgot or you can't see in the video, I am not going to hold it against you if you send me an email. But I cannot receive 30 emails on, hey, which project should I create? I hope that we're all okay and on the same page with that. So at this point, I'm going to say next. The next thing here is you're going to see 3 different text boxes. The first one is, what would you like to call the project? What do you want to name it? Okay, you make a Word file and you call it Resume 2020. That's your resume. It has a descriptive name. You should get into the same standard here as you would with your Word files. And you're going to notice that I'm very anal about this. I like it a very specific way. I don't care how you label your in-class lectures, but I do care how you label your homework. And we'll go over that when we have the first homework. If you are not putting your name in for the homework, you will be deducted points. If you do not put a title at the top of the page, you will be deducted points. Okay? This has to be organized. It has to be a way that I can follow this. Once again, I'm going to have 60 students that I got to go through line by line and understand what you're coding. If you can't even put the name for your file, that's a problem for me. Okay? So All of the in-class lectures that I produce will follow this same naming standard. CIS 150 underscore, whatever the date is. You're going to notice that this is recorded on the 27th. Everything is most likely going to be recorded a week before I distribute the video, possibly two. So, CIS 150, 08/27/2020. At this point, I make a very simple description of what this is. It does not need to be a long description. So I'm just going to say first program. Okay? Notice that it changes the solution name. Do not touch the solution name. They need to match. Okay? It did it all by itself. Okay? Next thing, it says location. I have a lot of trouble with this with students. I get emails all the time. I made the homework but don't know where it I do not know where it got saved. I can't tell you. I don't know. I have a few workarounds to try to figure it out, but I cannot tell you where you saved it. When you created that project, you told it where to save it. If you notice, by default, it will save it on your C drive under the users folder, under whatever account you're under sources, under repos. Okay? I do not like it to be saved there. I have a flash drive that I store everything on. So I'm going to go ahead and click this to change where it gets saved. I'm going to click on my flash drive. I'm going to go to Monroe County Community College. I'm going to go to Fall 2020, CIS 150, Lectures, and click Select Folder. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you make a folder for this class called CIS 150. Inside of that folder, you make a subfolder called Lectures, and that is where you store all of the lectures from the videos. I'm sure that a lot of you will store it on your desktop, will store it just in your documents folder. That's fine, but when you come on to Take Me for 250, this whole process is building blocks. Meaning that I get asked all the time, is there a cumulative final in this class? Well, by nature, there has to be a cumulative final. I can't ask you to write a program and tell you you can't use variables, which will be one of the first things we learn. Well, to take it one step further, when you come on to take CIS 250, Computer Science 2, well, you're cumulative from today until the final in CIS 250. So what does that mean? It means that you're going to want these as reference points. You are going to want these files here as references, okay? You want to have these to look back on to understand how we did X, Y, and Z. So, that is my advice to you, but it is by no means required. I won't know either way if you do it or not. At this point, I will click Create. Okay, my file is now created, and you should see a screen that looks something like this. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit. Maybe. Oops, come on. Just so we can see. Just a quick thing, just real fast on understanding how this works. The slash is here, // that means that's a comment. Okay? And what that means is that when we compile and run this, it actually just reads over all of the green. Okay? The first thing you should do when you make a project is delete all this green because we don't care about it. I don't want to see it in your homework. Okay? I should delete all of this green, all of those comments, because once again, I don't care to see those comments. I want to make my own comments. We'll talk more about that in the coming weeks. What I want to teach you now is if you read the syllabus, it states on there that you must have a comment header. The comment header is like putting your name at the top of the paper when you were in first grade. If you do not put a comment header at the top of your program, you will be deducted points on your homework assignment. So, what I'm going to do is make some kind of comment block. The first thing I want to know is who's the author. Well, that's my name. It is not, you don't put my name, you put your name. You're going to laugh when you hear that, but I get it all the time that people put my name there. You are the author, not me. So then I put a date, and the date is right now 08/27/2020. And then I also like to put a simple description. So what I'll put here is simple program to test Visual Studio, and then I'll just put there hello world. As you continue on with your computer science career, hello world is just, when you learn a new language, the first thing you do is just say hello world. Can I make this computer say hello world? If I can, that's a good starting block. So at this point, all this is saying right here, and this already came for us like this, what this is saying is just, hey, output to the console, hello world. That's it. You don't really need to know what int main means yet. You don't need to know what IOStream means yet. You don't need to know what std::cout means yet. We will get to those things. Remember, all I need from you this week is can you create your own program just like this following this video? And can you download the program from Brightspace and run that program? If you can, you're ready to move forward. If you cannot, you need to post a discussion, and then I need to start sending out emails or having Zoom conferences so that we can figure this out. Okay. On that note, this is a little bit of a sidetrack, but I think as I'm reading the discussion post, I saw quite a few of you are through the middle college. As far as I know, the middle college gives out laptops for you guys. This program chugs on a laptop. That means it's too resource heavy for those laptops that they give you. If you have your own laptop, it would be better if you use those. You can try it on there. You can get this software on there. That's all fine. But the experience that I've had in the past with students, it's hard for students to run their programs on that. So use that information as you see fit. But if you are part of the middle college, you're going to want to try to find a different laptop, in my opinion. At this point, we're ready to run this and make sure that everything runs properly. So I'm going to go up to the top here, and I'm just going to click on this green local Windows debugger. And go ahead and click that. Everything down here, it's all getting built. It's being compiled. We're making sure that everything is running properly before it tries, or that everything's going to compile properly. At this point, you see right here, hello world. Okay? And if you want to change this, you can go to properties, and I'm just going to try to make it a little bit bigger for you guys. I like to make this a little bigger, and I think that should work. You should be able to see that just a little bit easier. So if you see hello world, great. You were able to create a program, okay? So I'm going to X out of this, and I'm going to go ahead and X out of this, because we have successfully created a program up until right now. The next step that I want to go over is when I tell you that homework is due and you have to turn it in on Brightspace, what does that mean? Okay, so I'm going to go to File Explorer, and I am not going to click this. Okay, everyone sees this in their recents, and they want to double click this or give me this file and submit this for homework. Do not give me the .sln file. I cannot do anything if you submit me the .sln file. It does nothing for me. I can't even look at your code. Okay? What you need to do, and what I need to do, is go to where I saved this. Once again, I don't know where you saved it. Mine is in my lectures folder. This is the parent-most folder right here. This is the parent folder. Notice it shares the same name as our solution. This is our parent folder. Double click into it, you see that there's another folder and a .sln. We do not care about those. If you take this folder and give that to me, I can't do anything with it. If you give me the .sln, I can't do anything with it. Okay, take notes on this, please. That way that we are on the same page. It's always just time. Okay? I'll receive an email with some code, and you sent me the wrong folder. Well, now I have to email back. And then you have to email back. And now it's 3 days has passed, and 5 people have emailed in front of you. There's nothing that I can do about that. All I can do is try to get you to send me the appropriate file from the jump. That will save all of us time. Okay? So what you need is the parent-most folder. When you submit this on Brightspace, as you know, you cannot submit folders. You can't email folders. But what you can do is right-click on it, send to compressed zip folder. This is what I need. This is the folder that, or the file, the compressed folder, whatever you want to call it. This is what you will submit for your homework. Okay? When I upload things to Brightspace, I will always, 100% of the time, upload compressed zip folders. Okay? So, this program right here will be on Brightspace under the lectures folder, under week 1. You will download it and put it wherever you need it. Okay? But the next thing that we have, so we've checked off creating a project, and we've also checked off how do we submit them for our homework. The next thing is how can I view these projects once you upload them, okay? Well, the first step is to download it from Brightspace. So I'm sure you guys can download from Brightspace. Okay, so go out to Brightspace, download. It'll probably go in your downloads folder. But what I'm going to do is just do this. I'm just going to copy this thing, paste it in downloads as if I have downloaded it. So let's all pretend that I went out to on Google Chrome, I went to Brightspace, and I downloaded this. Okay? And now my job is to open it up and make sure that I can see it. That's the last thing we need to do, is just make sure that you can actually view the project once it is uploaded. By the end of the semester, we'll have 50 of these. Okay, we'll have a repository of 50 different projects that we've made together that you can use at your disposal for exams, quizzes, other homework, CIS 250, padding a resume, anything you need, okay? But we should have a bunch of these. They'll all be listed on Brightspace. What I want to do at this point is I'm going to show you the way that students do it, and it's wrong, okay? This is the wrong way. Put in your notes, wrong. You will double-click into this folder. You'll double-click into here. And when you open a project through Visual Studios, it is okay to double-click on the .sln. Okay? You can't submit it to me, but when you double-click this and you have Visual Studios installed on your computer, it will all work fine together to open up properly. Okay? So I double-click this. Remember, this is wrong. I'm going to say always use this app for .sln files, which is Visual Studios 2019. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click OK. That way it just doesn't ask me all the time, hey, do you want to use Visual Studios 2019? Yes, I do. Okay, I want to do that for all. Notice this. You get this error right here. I'd write this in my notebook too. One or more projects in the solution were not loaded correctly. Please see output window for details. If you get this window, it means you have done it wrong. Okay, and we'll click OK. Let's understand why we did this wrong. And probably some of you are already screaming at your computer telling me why. That's fine. The reason that this is incorrect is because this is a zipped folder. You cannot do anything with a zipped folder. What you have to do is right-click on the folder and click Extract All. It says, hey, where do you want to extract this? I typically just leave this right here. That way, it just extracted into the same folder that I'm in. So I click Extract. It'll open a new window, but sometimes it will. It just depends on the settings you have. Notice that now I have a file folder. Look at the type here, file folder. If you can see the icon here, it's an open folder versus a zipped folder, or one that has a zipper on it, okay? This is what you can open. Double click here, double click here, double click on the .sln. This should load up Visual Studios with this particular project, okay? If it sits here and nothing opens, look over on the right-hand side for Solution Explorer, okay? If you do not see Solution Explorer, if you do not see Solution Explorer, View, Solution Explorer. This is a customizable window. It says, hey, where do you want to pin this thing? And I always like it on this spot right here. It just makes it easier if I'm consistent and you're consistent with me, okay? So once again, if you didn't see Solution Explorer here, View, Solution Explorer, okay? At this point, I'm going to click the drop down here, drop down on Source Files, and I'm going to double click on the .cpp file. Look what loads up. Okay, at this point, let's make sure that everything really is working the way that we think it is. You can't stop here and say everything's good to go. We don't know. Run the project, okay? Maybe come in here and change this. Hello, CIS 150 class. Run. Hello, CIS 150 class. Once again, if we're going off of a little bit of a checklist, give me some feedback. My air conditioner just turned on. Make sure that you can still hear me, okay? There will be a discussion board, like I said. I got to make sure that if that thing's turning on and you guys can't hear me, I got to do something about this. So my AC just turned on. It's kind of loud in this house. Just let me know if you can still hear me, okay? Or if that humming in the background's a little too loud. I would really appreciate that. So if we're going off a little bit of a checklist, 1, we can create our own files or our own projects. 2, we know how to run the project. Okay. 3, we know how we need to submit our homework. 4, we know how to open projects that I post to Brightspace. Okay? The final thing I want to cover, I'm going to X out of this, and I'm going to X out of this. Okay? The final thing that I want to cover, and this is new for this year, our email system just got changed. Okay? And if in the past, when you email me and say, hey, I need help with my code, this is what it looks like, can you help me? Okay? I've always been fine with you sending a compressed zipped folder. However, this year, security purposes, they will not allow us to do that. This will get flagged. You will be emailed back and it will say that you cannot send this type of file. What you have to send to me, once again, take some notes please. You have to click into the folder, click into the same folder, click into the same titled folder here. You can send me the .cpp file. That is the only file that I need. Okay? Emailing me .cpp, uploading to Brightspace, zipped folder. At this point, we have covered everything that I want to go over for this lecture. Okay? So let's just make sure that we're all on the same page. I'm going to go ahead and post these videos. Okay? You're supposed to watch them. If you've reached this point, you have watched them. I will post a discussion board where you need to tell me if you have any questions. Ask your questions. Let me help you. But if you post on there, I have no questions. You have just guaranteed me a lot of things. 1, I know how to create a project on my own. 2, I know how to download and open projects that you put on Brightspace. 3, I know how to compress my project and submit it on Brightspace for homework and exams. 4, I know how I'm supposed to email you if I have questions about my code. We have to have this line of communication. I'm not in class to see if you get it. I'm not in class to see hands raised. I'm not in class to look at your face to understand if you get it. We have to have this conversation, this communication, this open dialogue back and forth. But if you put on there that you have no questions, you've guaranteed me those 4 things. Okay? So you should be looking out for a checklist. You should be looking out for a discussion board for questions about these videos. You should be looking for a discussion board for video feedback. There will be no grade on that. That's just if you want to give feedback or not. And by September 4th, we should be ready to go. You should have guaranteed me by then that your software is ready to go. Okay? If you have any questions, please post them to the discussion board, and we should be ready to go. Thank you, and be looking out for the next video.